Hi, I'm Demi Utley, the founder here at Utley Strategies, and today I'm going to talk to you about what you can do if you found out that you lost a proposal. So, of course, after you spend hours creating the perfect content, designing graphics, and formatting your proposal, it can be very disappointing to hear from the customer that they chose to go with someone else. And while a loss is always tough, it doesn't have to be a total loss. One thing that you can do is to use this as an opportunity to figure out how you can actually improve for next time. So today I'm going to share with you a few ways that you can turn a proposal loss into a win for future proposals. If you've submitted a proposal and you wrote a lot of content for this, maybe you revise some existing content, maybe you create a new graphics, things like that, go through and take a look at your proposal and see if any of that could maybe be used for future proposals or might resonate with other customers as well. So if there are any sections like that, then you can go through and just take them out and start to tweak them so that way it would align with your boilerplate content. And then you can use those as the foundation for future proposals and not have to go back and find this specific proposal where you had written this content. It'll help you to constantly be updating your content library instead of doing it on a schedule of like every year, every 6 months or something like that. So your content's always going to be fresh and it's always going to be working to help you to actually improve your proposals going forward. Another thing that you can do if you found out you lost your proposal is to actually schedule a debrief meeting with the client. So this is a great excuse to actually meet with the client because you can say, hey, we lost, we'd love to learn how to improve for next time. Would you be able to meet with us, for example? So when you do that, just ask them for a meeting. And if it's in the public sector, for example, for an RFP, then you can also go ahead and request any scoring information or bid tabulations, sometimes also even the proposals of your competitors. And you can review those ahead of the meeting so that way you're more prepared and can ask more specific questions when you go into the meeting. So for example, say your company scored low in company qualifications and you're not sure why because you thought you were really qualified for this project. Then in the debrief meeting, you will have already read through the bid tabulations and seen that, say, you scored, 8 out of 10 and everyone else got 10 out of 10. So you can ask the customer what qualifications they would like to see in the future and how you can actually improve your business so that way you also get 10 out of 10 points next time. The debrief meeting is also a great time to learn about your proposal design, which I think a lot of people overlook. But you can ask if there's anything that was difficult to read or any way that the design, distracted from the points you were trying to make. Sometimes I've heard of customers saying, hey, we really liked your solution and things like that. And, you could improve in these areas, but also just so you know, it was really hard to read this section of your proposal because of the design. So that's not something that you want to hear. So it is something that you can ask when you're in the debrief meeting if you're concerned about your design, or just make sure you give them the opportunity to kind of speak to that as well. Another thing that you can do if you found out you lost a proposal is take a moment to actually evaluate to see if it was a good fit for your organization. So to do this, I recommend having some sort of internal debrief meeting with the team who worked on the proposal to talk through reasons why you think you might have lost the opportunity. There are a lot of times where this will happen, and then some people will say, well, I think that maybe we didn't have enough in this area, or this solution was a bit of a stretch for our organization. It was hard to actually answer some of these questions. If that's the case, then you can kind of talk through that ideally before you meet with a customer. So you have, some insights already, and then you go into the debrief to kind of confirm, oh, okay, we were right. That is why we scored lower in this area. Or you might learn, actually, they didn't care about that. It was this other specific area. So you could have a debrief before you meet with a client and then also after internally, just to make sure, you have everything, a plan, and you're able to actually take action on what you learned from the customer. If the reason you lost the opportunity is because it didn't line up with the offerings you have at the price point you need it to be, then it might be a chance for you to evaluate of, hey, is it a good idea for us to bid in this space? Or is there a way we can tweak our solution or change our offering to make it more competitive and actually help us to win future opportunities? Another thing that you can do if you found out that you lost your proposal is to go through and actually use that as a chance to actually evaluate your process. So sometimes the reason you're losing might be that something that could be solved within your process. So for example, your sales team might be creating proposals in addition to taking customer meetings and supporting customers and things like that. And they might not have the time or the bandwidth or the energy to go through and actually create a really good competitive proposal, especially in response to an RFP. And that means that your proposals might be suffering because the person who's creating them just doesn't have the resources to actually go through and create that proposal. Another reason that your process might be affecting your proposals is that, say, you haven't had enough time to learn from the customer, or maybe your sales team hasn't been sharing the insights that they have from their customer meetings. So that's just a way to make sure that you're actually spending time speaking with the customer and then actually incorporating those insights into your proposals to make sure that you are more likely to win going forward. Okay, so those are a few examples for how you can turn a proposal loss into a win for future proposals. If you have questions about win rates and things that are what's standard and what's not, you can check out one of our videos on proposal win rates where I talk a little bit more about that. If you're struggling to figure out why exactly you're losing proposals and you keep sending them out or responding to RFPs and not winning and you don't know why, then make sure you schedule a one-on-one proposal session with me where we can talk through potential reasons why that might be happening and help you to develop a plan. Or if you want a larger project, you can always schedule a consulting session as well. I'll link to both of those below this video. In the meantime, make sure you subscribe for more proposal videos, and I will see you next time.